Welcome to video 1, Beginner's Yoga. We're going to start today with a breathing exercise, and this basic exercise is designed so that you can just start to get in touch with your breath. Sometimes we're going about our life or running around doing a million different things, thinking about our to-do list, what we're going to have for dinner, whatever, and we actually aren't even breathing. We could be holding our breath. So just learning through this exercise to get in touch with your breath and so that it can start to serve you. Basically, what we're going to do to begin is bring our right hand onto our belly with our left hand on the rib cage. What we want to do is breathe in through the nose. We're going to feel the belly draw in. The breath will move into the ribs and then lastly into the chest. So breathing into the belly, into the ribs, and then into the chest. On our exhale breath, we're going to breathe first from the chest, then the ribs, and then the belly. So basically we're going to learn to isolate these different aspects of our lungs. So one hand on the ribs, left hand, right hand on your belly. Breathing in. So the breath moves in through the nose, belly draws in, ribs expand, chest expands. Exhale from the chest, exhale from the ribs, exhale to the belly. Again, you're going to inhale. Pause and hold the breath at the top of the inhale. And then exhale slowly. All the way down, lastly emptying the belly. Inhale again. Three more times. Last one. And as you work with this, basically you want to start to lengthen the inhales and lengthen the exhales. This is really oxygenating for your brain. It's really oxygenating for your entire body, in fact. Really, really good for energy. You actually kind of feel like you're floating after you do it. I would recommend doing this at the beginning of your day. It's an awesome way to center yourself and ground yourself before you start your day. So let's get into the practice now. The physical practice. That was our pranayama, so our first introduction to breathing. To begin the practice, come to your feet. We're going to start with a very basic pose, in fact, the most basic posture in yoga other than shavasana, lying on your back. Basically, what we're going to be doing here is a standing shavasana. So we want to bring our feet together, draw the ankles together, and even though we are essentially just standing, what you want to be aware of is the tendency maybe for your head to jut forward or your body to lean back or for your spine to kind of curve like this. We want to keep everything in line, so head and hips and ankles all in one line. So just taking a second to find that alignment of the spine, bringing the hands down. And this is essentially just a way that you can start to correct your posture. You can do this in your day-to-day life. Just notice what your body's doing. Try to find that alignment, perfect extension, maximum extension of the spine. So good for posture and for correcting your posture. So starting there. Really ground down through all four corners of your feet. This is obviously just a very grounding posture. Very centering. To begin our first or second asana, bring your arms up over your head on the inhale. Squeeze the palms, cross the thumbs. Push your hips a little bit forward. Take another inhale, stretch up, and just bend a little bit to the right. Inhale to the center, inhale again to lengthen, and exhale as you bend to the left. Inhale to the center, looking up at your hands, stretch up. Inhale, and on a gentle exhale, arch back slightly. You can just go a little bit, getting used to that sensation of going backwards. Inhale to come up. On the next exhale, with a flat back, come all the way down towards the floor. You can bend your knees if you need to. Hands touch the floor, drop your head. You can have a big bend in the knees, or as little as you need to. Keeping the knees bent if you need to, coming back up on the inhale. And on the next exhale, arms come all the way down. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale to stretch up. Exhale, a little bit different, bending to the right. Inhale to come up, left hand on your left thigh. Inhale and exhale down. Inhale to come up. Looking up at your hands, inhale, stretch up, and bend back slightly. Inhale to come up. And exhale as you come all the way down, bending the knees, no problem. Drop your head. Another deep inhale to come up. Exhale. Lowering down last time, perhaps a little bit quicker. Left arm up, inhale. Bend to the right on the exhale. Inhale, lift up, right hand up. Exhale to bend to the left. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale to bend back, maybe slightly deeper. Inhale to come up. Exhale, flat back all the way down. Drop your head. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, coming up. Relax the arms. For our next posture, separate your feet about 6 inches apart. So hip width, if you're not quite sure exactly what that is, about 2 fists between your feet is the perfect amount that you want to have. What we're going to be doing is a posture called awkward pose, arms lift up. On the next breath, on the next inhale breath, lift your chest. And on the exhale, what you want to do is stick your butt out and sit down as low as you can. Eventually, ideally, the thighs are parallel to the floor. The stomach is in, so there's a depression of the abdominal wall. And we're actually in a little bit of a back bend here. So I'm just going to do it to the side to show you. So when you sit down, you're not rounding in your lower back. You're sticking your butt out so that you have a bit of a back bend happening. And you can even just go this far if that's where you need to be right now. That's fine. Eventually getting the thighs right down parallel. Hold it here for about 5 breaths. So inhales and exhales. Inhale to slowly stand up. From here, bring your arms up, inhale. Right arm under your left arm. If your shoulders are really, really tight, you only may be able to do this much with your arms, that's fine. Pull the elbows down from here. If you can, interlace your fingers or palms flat. Elbows come down to open the shoulders. Again, stick your butt out as you sit deep. And here, bring your right leg over your left one. Hold here. You might have to be somewhere up here. That's fine. Eventually, we're going to start to sit down a little bit deeper in this posture too. Again, you're sticking your butt out. You're lifting your chest up. A little bit of a back bend. Release. Inhale, arms up. Left arm under the right. Again, crossing, twisting, doing what you can. Dropping the elbows down. Left leg over the right. Cross and twist. This posture actually drains the lower lymph system, so it's very good for our lymphatic system. for our reproductive systems as well. So sticking your butt out, sitting down. Release. Inhale, arms float up. And exhale, arms float down. For our last posture of this particular video, we're going to do a balancing posture. So this might be your first taste of standing and balancing on one leg. So give this a try. You're going to bring your right foot to your inner left thigh. We want to level the hips and just basically try to bring the right knee to the side as much as we can. And then just holding here. So this is tree posture. So learning to be still and grounded like a tree. So your foot is the roots. So you want to really focus on grounding down through all four corners of the foot. You want to make sure that you're not like rolling the body weight to one side of your foot or favoring one side. This way you're going to really start to strengthen all of the muscles that surround your foot and your ankle. Moving lastly onto the other side. Left foot or on our inner right thigh. Same thing, opening the knee to the side. Hands can come to the heart center, balance. To make this a tiny bit more challenging, you could bring your arms over your head. And if you really want to challenge yourself, you could close your eyes. Just feel that you have to focus more on the muscles to stay balanced. Bring your knee back to the center, lower your foot down. Slowly exhale, bring your arms down, and just moving onto your back for a moment, just to take in the benefits of your efforts in Shavasana. Danzo. So stay in Shavasana as long as feels right for you. If you have the luxury, you could stay for 10 minutes and have a little bit of a conscious power nap. So you want to try not to drift off completely necessarily. Basically, you can keep your eyes open or closed, but you want to stay really aware of what's happening in your body. So basically just take advantage of the Shavasana to feel the changes that you've made. You might feel a little tingly, you might feel a little bit more relaxed, you might feel more open. So basically in this posture, you're staying for a minute. It's good to stay for at least a minute. If you want to stay longer, by all means, gosh, do it. It's very restorative, rejuvenating posture. Just as in video 1, we are going to begin video 2, exercise routine 2, with a breathing exercise. Toes and heels together, draw the ankle bones together. Draw your inner thighs and glutes together, really firming up the lower body. Arms out to the side, and shoulders are open here. Shoulders drop down the back. Take an inhale. Look up at the hands. Exhale. All the way down. Inhale again. Looking up. Exhale. All the way down. And as we learned in the first video, we want to lengthen the inhale as much as we can and lengthen the exhale as much as we can. This way, we're learning to use more of our lung capacity. Couple more. Last time. Again, warming up the spine in all four directions, laterally, backwards, and forward. Inhale, arms up. Interlace the fingers, release your index fingers. Hips forward, chest lifted. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, bend to the right as much as you can. Maybe a little deeper than you did the first time. Inhale to come up. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to come down. Inhale to lift up. Inhale to lengthen, dropping your head back as much as you can, and slowly start to bend back. Keep your knees locked, keep your thighs tight, keep your glutes tight, so that you're supporting your spine. Inhale to come up. Exhale all the way down. Forward bend. This time we're going to grab our toes with our middle and our index fingers. Walk the feet about hip width apart. Exhale, drop your head. Bring your elbows to the side so that your shoulders are back. And just pull gently on your toes to bring your forehead or your head a little bit closer to the floor. Again, if you need to in the forward bend, you can keep your knees bent, and you just want to work on eventually straightening them by bringing the weight into the toes. Next, inhale, bring your hands to the floor, out to the side, come all the way up. And exhale, bring your feet together, relax your arms down. Let's do that one more time. I'm going to show you from the side just so you have another perspective. Inhale, arms lift up. Interlace the fingers, release the index fingers, hips forward. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale to come down. Inhale, back to the center. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to come down. Inhale to the center. Inhale to find length, exhale, head back. Arms back, reach back, start to go back. Inhale to the center. Exhale, flat back all the way down, open the feet, hip width. Grab the big toes, middle and index fingers. Inhale, and then on your next exhale, drop your head. Bring the elbows to the side. Again, the bend in the knees is optional. Eventually working the legs straight. Walking the feet back together. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, arms float down. In video 1, we were moving from posture to posture, basically just pausing to regroup and move into the next thing. In this video now, we're going to learn our first flow. A flow is basically something that links posture and movement, or brings posture and movement together. Facing the front of your mat, inhale your arms up. Exhale, and with a flat back, come all the way down, bend your knees if you need to, drop your head. Inhale, look forward, and on your next exhale, step your right leg back, then your left, so that you're in a plank. If you need to, you can be on your knees for this as well. Inhale, and as you exhale, bend your elbows, drop to the knees if you need to, and then gentle back bend as you lift up. Inhale. Curl your toes, push yourself back, and moving into a downward facing dog. For downward facing dog, you want to try not to round, you want to try not to arch your back. You want to basically create alignment of the spine so that your spine is nice and straight, nice and long, head relaxed. Step your right leg forward and your left. Inhale to come all the way up. And exhale to come down. Go through that again, a little bit slow again, just for the second time. Inhale. Exhale, flat back all the way down. Drop your head, crown of your head to your feet. Inhale, flat back, looking forward. Next exhale, right leg steps back. After that, the left one, drop to the knees if you need to. Inhale, and then exhale, staying on the knees or staying on your toes as you come down. You can drop to your belly and lift into a gentle back bend cobra. Legs are active, spine is long. Inhale, turn your toes under, you can stay on the knees, and then push back again into downward facing dog. Right leg steps forward, followed by the left. Exhale, drop your head for a moment, and then inhale, come all the way back up. Introduction to warrior. This is warrior 1. Feet are still together. Step your right leg back. Stay on your toes for this variation. We want to not arc the back, but keep the lower ribs drawn in so that the spine is long. Bend your left knee as much as you can. Bring your arms over your head and hold. Really nice opening here for the front of your right hip. Really strengthening the legs in this posture as well. Keep bending to get eventually your left thigh parallel to the floor. If you need to have a little bend in this knee, that's okay. Eventually you're working to straighten this knee. Hold here. 3 deep breaths at least. Inhales and exhales. Inhale and straighten your leg. Pivot, facing the side of your mat and then all the way to face the opposite end. Take a deep breath in, bend the right knee now. Same thing, warrior on the right side. Opening the left hip, again strengthening the legs. So watch your spine, not arcing your back. Lower ribs are in, core is active, and your spine is long. Hold here, 3 deep breaths. Turn, face the side, learning warrior 2 now. Right foot turns 45 degrees, left foot still faces the opposite end. We're going to bend this left knee. You can look over your left hand. Just make sure your heels are in line. And again, you're bending to straighten the leg. Or bending to move into the lunge rather. 3 breaths there, straighten the left leg, turn your left toes 45 degrees, right foot faces the front. Opening to the side, and looking over the right. Straighten the right leg, turn your right foot in. Last warrior. Right foot 45 degrees, left foot facing the front. Right hand on the back of your right leg. A lot of lefts and rights going on here. Inhale, left arm up, arching back. So little back bend. Inhale to come up, other side. Left foot in, right foot faces the front, left foot 45 degrees. Left hand on your left thigh, inhale, stretching up, opening the front side of the body, and then just reaching back as much as you can. As you go deeper, the left hand can slide down your leg. Inhale to come up. Turn your toes in. You can even slightly pigeon toe your toes, providing you don't have any issues with sciatica. In that case, keep your feet straight. Arms out to the side, inhale. Exhale as you come all the way down. We're again going to grab our toes, our big toes, with our middle and our index fingers, drawing the inner thighs in. We're going to start to pull our head down. When you come down, if the intensity for you is really strong down the backs of your legs, you can keep a little bend in the knees. Just get your hands here and then working to straighten the legs. So what you'll do here is just work on bringing the weight into the toes and then lifting the sit bones to straighten the legs. If your legs lock out to begin with, you've obviously been doing your stretching post-workout, then you can start to move deeper by contracting the thighs, engaging the legs, and then using your upper body strength to start to pull your head closer to the floor. Finding the breath again, easy to forget, to breathe when you're thinking about the movements, and certainly in my case when you're talking. So staying with the breath, deep breaths here. And then with your knees bent or not, inhale to come all the way up. Exhale, step your feet together, and then just move into a seated position for one more posture. Extend your right leg out. Bring your left foot over top of your right leg. Inhale, bring your right arm up, cross it over so that your right elbow is against your left knee. Keeping your sit bones grounded here, inhale, lengthen, and on your exhale, look all the way back over your left shoulder. To move deeper with this one, you can start to elbow your left knee with your right elbow towards the opposite way. Gentle spinal twist. Spine twists of all kinds are wonderful for relieving any pain if you suffer from any back pain at all, any tension or pain in the spine. Left leg long, right foot comes over top of the left leg, Right hand at the base of your spine. Inhale, find length. Left arm comes up and over. Same thing, elbowing the right knee back, looking over the right shoulder, staying nice and long through the spine. Try not to be like this. Use this right hand kind of like a kickstand to find that length. Sit bones heavy and grounded into the floor. So we're opening the hips at the same time as we're twisting the spine. Release your twist, extend your right leg, and very slowly roll onto your back. And again, take your Shavasana for as long as your schedule permits you to today. Welcome back. We are here for video 3 of beginner's yoga, starting in cat-cow. It's a breathing exercise as well. We always want to start with our breathing exercise, again linking the breath to our movements this way. Curl your toes, stand on your knees, bring your hands to the floor. Ground down through all corners of your hands, and inhale and look up. On your exhale, empty your lungs completely. Hollow the belly, suck the stomach in as much as you can. Inhale, arch your back and look up. Exhale. Repeat a few more times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Look up, arch your back, exhale. So we're warming up the spine at the same time as we're warming up the body with the breath. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Looking forward, coming to a neutral spine. Toes are still curled. We're going to activate our core here in a very gentle way. Just lift your knees and hover over the ground. Try to align your shoulders and your wrists and hold here. You'll feel the core muscles start to fire right away. Hold and lower. Do that a couple more times. This prepares you for balancing postures, strengthening core postures. Again, lift your knees. Hover, breathe. Try not to arch your back this time. A little bit the tailbone is under, and lower down. Last time, inhale and lift. Push down still through all aspects of your hands. Shoulders are back, we're not dropping into our shoulders. Use the core, staying up, and then exhale to come back down. Now our hands are already set up for a downward dog, so all we're gonna do, and our toes too, our toes are already curled, we're just gonna push back. If you need to adjust a little bit, that's cool. You might need to stay on your toes. You might not be able to get your heels right down, that's fine. Eventually the heels come into the floor again. Try not to round, try not to arch your spine, try to find a neutral spine. Drop your head, shoulders are back and down, not hugging around your ears. 3 deep breaths here. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up off the floor and just gently open your hip. So open towards the side. Right heel starts to drop towards your left glute or your right glute. Come back to the center, lower your foot down. Inhale, lift your left leg up, and again, open to the side. Left heel to left glute, back to the center, and then lower back down. Let's try that again. Inhale, leg up, and open the hip. Great way to open the hips. Keeping the shoulders square is the key and the tricky part here. Come back to the center, lower your right leg. Left leg comes up, open the hip. keeping the shoulders fairly square. And then left leg comes down as you move back through the center. Gently walk your right foot forward, then your left. Look up, and on your inhale, slowly come back up to standing. Exhale, drop your hands down. Turning to face the front of your mat, step your left leg out. We're going to do triangle pose. Turn your left foot towards the edge of your mat. The right foot is parallel, so right foot facing forward. With your arms out to the side, take a deep breath in and just bend your left knee. Now what you can do here, if you need to, is just rest your left hand on your left knee, bring your right arm up. Another option here might be to bring your hand to the floor, but feel that out for yourself. That's going to be deeper through the hips, so you may need to stay here. This is a very strengthening posture for the legs, even more so than putting the hand down. So just holding here. And then coming back through the center. Right foot turns out, triangle pose, other side. Again, bending the knee so you're in a deep lunge, resting right elbow on right knee, looking up at the left hand. Come back through to the center, turn your right foot in. This time, facing again the opposite side, the right foot turns 45 degrees. Inhale, bring your arms up. On the exhale, come all the way down. You might need to bend this knee, that's fine. Drop your head down. Eventually working to straighten the leg and level the hips, so we're bringing the weight forward into the left foot to do that. Lengthen the spine, bringing your head towards your ankle. Inhale, use the strength of the legs to hold everything together as you come up, turn to the other side. Exhale, come all the way down, bend the front knee if you need to. Bring your head down. If you can, straighten the leg more, shift more weight to the right foot to lift the right hip. Inhale, bring your arms back up and through the center, turn, bring your feet together. Going to move on to our knees again as we begin. So on your knees, this time allow your feet to be flat on the floor. This is called camel pose. Hands come to the hips, fingers facing down. Draw your elbows back together, drop your shoulders. We're going to push the hips forward, look up at the ceiling. Now you can keep your head there, or you might feel comfortable dropping your head back. Feel that out for yourself. Looking up, looking back, push your hips forward and just start to lean back. Going back, bending back. Now the thing you want to be careful of here, there's two things that you're likely to do. Lean through the legs, like this. You want to keep your hips forward, so that's the first thing. By keeping the hips forward, you're going to open your lower back. The other thing that often happens for people is they go into it and their chest collapses. So we hold a lot of stuff there. It's kind of scary and kind of foreign for us to open the whole front side of the body. We often protect ourselves rounding forward. So as you're keeping your hips forward, you also want to keep the lift through the chest so that you're opening your lower back but also the upper back. This way the total spine bending equally the same. So hips are forward. Let's try again. Inhale, dropping your head back or looking at the ceiling. Keep your hips forward but lift the chest as well. Going back to wherever you can. 3 deep breaths. Inhale, slowly come up. You may want to sit down on your heels for a second. It's normal to feel a little dizzy. It's not very often we're going upside down like that. We're going to repeat that 3 more times just because it could change your life. It's so powerful. Come back up to the knees. And I say that and it sounds funny, but I really mean it. Hands on the hips, elbows back. Inhale, look up, drop your head back. So hips are forward, but chest is lifted, opening the heart. You might only be here. That's fine. Inhale back to center, slowly sit down, take a moment. If you feel dizzy, maybe perhaps skip the third one. Otherwise, come back to the knees. Staying with the breath is key here. If you're feeling dizzy, you're probably not breathing too. Hands on the hips, elbows back, hips forward. Inhale, look back, and start to bend the spine back. Inhale, coming back up. And good idea to bring your head up last if you know your spine isn't super strong yet. Just as a precaution, bring your head up last. Slowly sit down, take a deep breath. And then extend your legs. And once again, moving onto your back and taking a minute just to take all of that in. Feel the energy, feel what's moving. Often we're moving stagnant emotions or stagnant repressed energy, repressed emotions. So letting that stuff just perhaps shift out of you. Welcome to video 4. Today we are going to be stepping it up a little bit again. And in this video, in this particular practice, we're going to be using more core and a little bit more of our body strength as well. In yoga, you're always working to find balance between strength and flexibility. If you're really, really strong, you can actually use your strength to create flexibility and vice versa. If you're very flexible, you need to start to harness that strength so that you're, balanced. Yoga equals balance, always the underlying goal. Starting with our breathing exercise, we're going to do a breathing exercise that comes from the moksha discipline. Interlace your 10 fingers, palms facing downward. Inhale, lift your arms up over your head, look at your palms. Bring your palms flat together, and on your exhale, draw the breath into the belly, your palms down towards the floor again. Inhale, arms come up. Palms together, exhale, draw the breath down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Leaving your day behind you. Inhale. Coming onto your mat. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. The breathing really aligns us with what we're about to do. Connecting ourselves with the breath, but also to the body, to what's going on inside. Inhale, a couple more. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, last time. Inhale. And exhale. Arms should be nice and warmed up by now. Moving into our first downward dog. Inhale. Flat back all the way down. Exhale. Fold. Now in the other videos we stepped to the back of our mat. You can do that again, or if you want to try, a gentle hop. Hold. Holding in your first plank. Hold it here. Now you can stay here, or if you feel up for it, lift your right leg. Hold. Right foot can stay on the floor, knees can even stay on the floor. Good. Lower your right foot, push back, take a breath here. We're going to repeat that on the other side. Come forward, shoulders over the wrists, palms grounded and flat. Hold. You can stay here, you can come to your knees, or left leg up, hold, breathe. Try not to sag, core engaged, palms down, arms are strong to support the pose. Left foot down, exhale, push back into your downward dog, take a breath here. We're going to do a little bit more core work. Come forward. This time bring your right knee in towards your chest, even towards your forehead if you can. Otherwise, staying in one of those variations. Push back or release back, other side. And back, hold. Slowly lower onto your knees or all the way down to your belly. Little gentle back bend. Exhale, push back. Let's do 3 more flowing vinyasas. So inhale to come forward, exhale down. You can stay on your toes, tops of the feet, the floor, and then exhale, coming back again. Inhale, come forward, exhale onto the belly if you need to, come up, and then curl the toes, try to push back, downward dog. Heels can be off the floor if they need to be, no problem. Now again, stepping to the top of your mat, or option 2, a little bit of a hop, look forward on your inhale, fold on the exhale, knees can be bent if they need to be. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up, exhale, and lower your arms down. Moving into a balancing posture, this is called balancing stick. Shift the weight to your left foot, lift your right foot up off the floor. Keeping your hips square, just start to tilt until your body's parallel, or as far as you can. Just do to wherever you can today. It'll always keep changing. If you lose a balance, no problem. Try the other side, ground through the right foot, try not to let the hips turn out. So keep your hips square, your standing glute muscle is really going to be the muscle that's supporting the posture. Arms can be to the side, they can be behind you, they can be out in front of you, they can even be on your hips. Down. 3 breaths. And then slowly come back, standing with your feet together. Facing the front of your mat again. Tree pose, as we did in the previous video, a little bit deeper this time. Lift your right foot up. Grab your right foot from underneath with your left hand. Sole of the foot faces the ceiling. You may only be able to get your knee or your foot this far up your leg. If you can, you might even be able to bring it to your groin. Feel that out. Make sure your knee doesn't complain at all. Eventually what we're doing is we're bringing this knee down and back, and we're pushing our hips forward to really open our hips. If you need to, the foot can be down here. In this case, I would recommend holding your foot and then just gently working to open this up. So going to your current depth, finding your breath, hips are forward, spine is long, breath is deep, slow, and calm. Moving on to the other side, release the right foot down. Grab your left foot from underneath with your right hand. If there's some tension through the knee or the ankle, you can just hold your foot, gently work on bringing your knee back, gently work on opening this ankle. If it's comfortable for you, the foot can come all the way up for a deeper expression. Knee down and back, hips forward, spine long, again, balance and breathe. Always when you're standing on one leg, you're grounded through your foundation, so through your leg, through the sole of your foot. And then, again, release. Here we are. We've arrived at video 5. A lot of the moves that we're going to be doing today are going to be familiar to you. Do the best you can with them. Don't worry about doing them super deep or perfect. There's no perfect. Just give them your best shot. We're going to start by facing the front of our mat. We're going to take a moment just to come into our body, ground through the soles of our feet, and again, always connecting with the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Really let go of your day. Inhale and exhale, just being here. On the next inhale, arms come up, look up at your palms, exhale, flat back down. Bending the knees, still an option if you need to. Inhale and look forward. And with your hands firmly placed on the floor, either step or hop back into your high plank. Inhale, and on your exhale, bend your elbows. And then inhale and push up, like a tricep push-up. Inhale and exhale. Push it up and extend back, downward dog. Take a breath. Recover, find your breath. Next inhale, come forward into your high plank again. This time bring your right knee to your right elbow and hold. Extend back, same thing. And extend back again. Inhale and exhale. One more each side. And extend back, downward dog. Take a minute, find your breath, recover. Breathing in and breathing out. On the next inhale, step or hop your feet towards your hands, setting up for our first arm balance. Palms are on the floor. What we're going to do is come onto our toes, place our knees in towards our armpits. This might be all you do. This would be normal if this is all you can do in your first attempt. Eventually, shifting the weight into the palms, looking slightly forward and working on lifting the feet. So you could do one at a time, and eventually both feet moving towards your bum. Hold. Lower down if you brought your heels up at all. And on your exhale, fold and let that go. Take a second, especially if you feel a little dizzy. On your next inhale breath, come back up. Exhale, lower down. Step towards the front of your mat. Take a big step out. Turn your right foot out. Warrior 3. Back bend. Come back up. Turn, extend back. Gentle back bend. And come back up. Toes can be a little bit inward, flat back all the way down. A little bit different variation than what we did before. You can interlace your 10 fingers and just start to bring your arms towards the floor. You probably will only be able to go this far in the beginning, especially again if there's a lot of tension in your shoulders. Keep your thighs firm, keep working your legs to a straight position, and eventually start to bring your hands towards the floor. Really opening the upper back and the shoulders. Arms out to the side, inhale, flat back all the way up. Exhale, bring your feet together. Extreme balancing challenge. Take your 2-piece fingers, grab your big toe. Work on straightening your standing leg. From here, see if you can extend your right leg out a little bit, eventually to a straight position. If you need to, you might be here for now, that's fine. Hold it here and breathe. You can lower your foot down and take a break, or if you're up for it, try to bring your right foot to the side, open the hip. Bring your leg back through center. Lower your foot down with the help of your hand, or if you'd like an extra challenge, hold your leg here for a second and then lower down. Same thing other side. Take your piece fingers, grab your big toe of your left foot. Lengthen or straighten your leg to your depth right now. Eventually to a straight position. Open to the side, opening the hip. Keep your hips level as much as you can. Bring it back through center. Hold if you can. And then lower your foot to the floor. Turning to face the front of your mat. Dancer's pose. This is a new one. Bring your right hand out, palm facing the ceiling. Drop your hand down, keep your shoulder open, so palm facing the ceiling is key. The crease of your elbow faces the side of the room. Grab your ankle. Lift your left arm up, draw your lower ribs in, really stretch up. You can stay here if this is challenging enough for you to maintain. Otherwise, what you're going to do is start to kick your right leg back and up, eventually moving into a standing split, believe it or not. This is a challenging posture, but definitely give it a go. I've seen some burly men become beautiful ballerinas almost in this posture over time. Keep kicking. Eventually, you're going to kick and start to bring the body down, but don't worry too much about that. Again, this is beginners series. Slowly come back. Lower your foot down. Other side, palm facing up, the crease of the left elbow faces the side of the room. Grab your ankle, lift your right arm, lift your chest and chin, lower ribs draw in. Core engaged. Inhale and start to kick. So you can hold it here, you can be here.
As you kick with your glute muscle, you're starting to bend your spine. So the kick is really the driving force of the posture. Keep kicking, keep deepening the back bend. Eventually this is where we're going. But hang out wherever you need to be. Breathe. And then slowly lower back down. Walking to the front of your mat, come to your seat, lower back. We're going to finish our practice with the spinal twist today. Bring your knees in towards your chest. You can hug them in for a minute and even roll a little bit back and forth on your spine. Bring your knees now to one side. Bring your arms out to the side. And just look over at your right hand. So knees are to the left, gaze is to the right. For a different kind of a stretch across your chest, you might want to try lifting your right arm a little bit higher. Depending where you're holding tension, that can intensify the pose. Breathe here. Come back to the center. Again, you could hug the knees in if you wanted to, and then drop your knees to the left side. Getting a suntan at the same time, which is great. Left arm out. Gaze is to the left, knees are to the right. Breathing is always the same. In and out through the nose, deep, calm, and slow. You could try bringing your left arm a little bit higher, see if it intensifies the stretch for you, makes it deeper. Stay in this posture extra long if you can. And then bring your knees back in. One more time, hug the knees towards you. And then bring your feet to the floor as you slowly bring your legs to a straight position. Palms are facing up, shoulders are open. Take your final Shavasana and really allow your muscles to just melt into your mat. You've done great, you guys. Way to go. So we have arrived. You have completed your first beginner's yoga series. Amazing job, you guys. I feel totally confident that you did so great with this, and I'm really excited that I had the opportunity to bring yoga into your life. Find a way to make it part of your life, whether it be beginning your day with one of those breathing exercises as we learned, or finishing your workouts with one of these videos. You can do these videos separately. You could take a day where you wanted a big yoga day and do all 5 of them back to back. Feel it out, make it work for you. Remember, there's no rules in yoga. You set the rules. Just have fun with it and start to feel the benefits that it brings into your life. It will happen in so many ways that you can't imagine. Thanks for doing yoga with me, you guys, and I look forward to seeing you. We're going to be doing lots of these type of series, so check back, and we'll see you soon. Namaste. Hi, you guys. It is really nice to be back with you. This time around, I'm going to be bringing you a flexibility series. Basically, it's going to be a 5-part video series, all different videos to increase flexibility through all different areas of your body. Before we jump into it, the first video we're going to be doing hips, so increasing the flexibility through our hips. Before I get into that, I just wanted to talk to you about something that's going on for me in my personal life that I think maybe some of you guys might be able to relate to. And it's basically this sense of, I'm in this place right now where I'm trying to open myself up to opportunities and to the universe, and maybe even considering moving to a new location, a new country even. And it's so exciting and wonderful, and there's this sense of freedom and aliveness that comes with it, but at the same time, I'm certainly in touch with a fear as well, and this sense of things being out of control, and in some ways I feel the need to quickly make a decision just so I know what I'm doing. And I just want to mention to you about this and see if maybe you can relate to that in some way, and basically make the point that we're never really in control of anything, and it doesn't matter what it is or what it relates to in your life, but we really need to just trust We need to trust that whatever it is working out for us, and the right thing is coming. And there's no need to figure it all out right away. And it's also okay to not know, and to trust that you can be safe with that. So I think that's a big thing in our lives that we can work on, trusting more. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. Now let's get into our hips. So we're going to do 3 postures. These postures, I feel very confident, will really help you to increase your range of motion through the hips. We're going to start with pigeon, which we've done in previous videos for sure. It's one of the best for opening the hips. Begin by bringing your hands about shoulder width apart so that you're in a downward facing dog. Shoulders drop down the back, hands are always active. Bring your right knee to your right wrist, and then just slowly lower down. 2 things are going to happen here probably. One, you're probably going to feel your body rolling out this way. Do the very best you can to keep your hips square. If your bum is really up off the floor, if you can't rest your right hip down on the floor, you could put like a little pillow or the sandbag or something like that under your hip to rest so that the muscle can actually relax. So we don't want to be holding in this posture, we want to relax. So if you have your hip down, then you have another option. You can come onto your elbows perhaps. You could even cross your forearms and rest your head. So finding what feels comfortable for you. Again, if you need to, you can keep yourself a little bit more upright and have a prop under your hip. If you're pretty open or you want to work even deeper, remembering in yoga and in these postures, there's always somewhere to go. There's always a way you can go deeper. So here, if you want to go deeper, let your body, instead of rounding forward, extend out along your thigh, and then lay the weight of your body on your right leg as you bring your head back down. So this is going to release the outside of the right hip, and it's also going to offer you a little bit of a stretch through the front of the left hip, through the hip flexor. Once you've hung out in this posture for a couple of minutes, I recommend doing it for about 2 or 3 minutes at least. If you really have the patience and you want to increase your flexibility that much quicker and further, hold it for 5 minutes. Then, using your hands, you can take your leg back. Your hip might feel a little bit tender, vulnerable, so you can just pedal your feet. You could extend your leg out. Sometimes it feels nice to open the hip. Whatever feels good for you, and then move into the other side. The left knee to the left wrist. Same thing. So if you're a little tight here, you might need to put something so that the muscle can relax. Otherwise, your hip comes down. You want to keep your right hip forward. So again, careful you're not rolling to the side. And then with your hips square, you can extend out into whatever variation of the posture that you're choosing to do. Always in yoga, finding the breath once you're in the posture. The definition of posture actually is holding stillness and breathing normal. So once you come into the depth of whatever posture you're doing, you want to make sure those 2 things are happening. So there's stillness and there's breath. So once you've completed the other side, again 2, 3, even 5 minutes, extend your leg back, walk it out, open the hip, whatever you need to do, and then slowly lower onto your knees. Next, we're going to move into a posture that really helps to open the inner thighs, the inner part of your leg. So sitting this time with your feet together. Your knees might be up like this, that's okay. This might be your pose. If you can, we're going to go a little deeper. What we're going to do is extend our bodies out towards our feet. And as you pull on your feet, make your soles of your feet face the ceiling. So just rotate through your foot so that your knees start to come down. As you extend out, if possible, you can rest your elbows on your knees and just gently push them towards the floor. If you're ready to do a little bit more than that, you could bring your hands there and encourage the knees down this way. So again, you want to try to stay here for at least a minute or 2, or again, longer is always good. Eventually getting your knees all the way down and your forehead down towards the floor. You can have round spine for this, or you can extend with a flat spine. You'll feel it a little differently based on what you do with your upper body. So that's called butterfly pose. The third posture we're going to do as a hip opener is dragon lunge. We're going to bring our right foot forward. So first you want to just stack your knee with your ankle, and then extend this leg back so that you feel a stretched left hip. So we're really opening through the right and the left side this time. You're going to feel it here probably the most. So you can stay here. You can have your hands on 2 soup cans or whatever else you have at home to support your torso up straight. If you want to, you can do a little variation where you go deeper. So you can pick the way that feels right for you. If you want to go a little bit deeper still, I'm going to show you one more thing. So I would suggest holding this for about a minute or two, and then extend, or rather, turn your right foot out on an angle and try to bring your forearms, if possible, to the floor. So now you're really going to open into the right hip while you're getting that stretch through the left hip. So this is another variation. Eventually you could even move all the way down here. That's going to be pretty deep though, so even something like this would be okay, but just to turn that foot out a little bit. Then bring it back to center, and then you can slowly release it back. Again, you might need to take a second to wiggle your leg to shake it out, and then you'll move on to the other side. The left foot will come forward, knee stacked over ankle, and then keeping the hips square, just sinking into this left side. Just make sure your knee isn't going beyond your foot, knee and ankle in one line, holding it here, feeling it in the front of the right hip flexor. And then after, again, a minute or two, for at least another minute, turn the left foot out and either staying upright or moving that much deeper. You can always intensify this also by coming onto the right toes, stretching further back through that right leg. Or one more variation for those of you who are pretty flexible or pretty open through the hip, you could grab the back of your left foot and just pull your foot towards your body. That's going to be really deep for the right hip flexor. So those postures will really help to open your hips, and it's good to increase your flexibility there for a number of different reasons. Increased range of motion through your hips is going to help you in all the other activities that you do, your strengthening exercises, etc. Opening your hips up can really help to alleviate back pain as well if you're dealing with that. And also, we tend to store a lot of things emotionally in our hips. Anger as well, so emotion. You'll have an opportunity to maybe even release some of that. So that could happen on an energetic level. So don't be surprised if you start doing these postures, for example, every single day, and you're holding each of them for 5 minutes. If you feel a little bit, strange, especially the next day. I always find if I feel something moving around energetically, a release of some kind, it happens the next day. So just being mindful of that. If that comes up for you, try to embrace it. It's a good thing. Again, we're not in control of anything. Just allow it, let it flow. It's good. Trust that it will be serving to you in some way. We'll see you in video 2, where we're going to open our backs and our spines.